Christian, welcome to the Jersey Boys podcast. Great to have you on. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good morning, Steven. Thank you for having me. How's everything?
Everything is good, man. So we basically let everybody know. My normal co-host for the MMA podcast is Andrew Valencia. He's fighting in your event, East Coast Elites 3. All right, we got it scrolling on the bottom. So anybody who's watching this, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us after the fact, April 10th, 12 noon, it'll be streaming live on Instagram. East Coast Elites is the Instagram name. Next to Christian's name is East Coast Elites. Again, that's his Instagram name. He doesn't have any other social media, so you're going to want to follow that Instagram page to get in touch with him. And hey, fighters, reach out to him, right? We're going to have more events after this, Christian, based on what we were just talking about.
Absolutely.
All right, so I want Christian to talk and introduce himself in the event. We started talking before about 10 minutes ago, and I said, wait a minute, I'm going to cut you off because what you're saying right now is blowing my mind. It's intriguing. So I want everybody to know how things like this get put together. So Christian, I know you're a fighter yourself. You're not fighting in this event just because you're promoting this event and you're putting this all together, getting it all organized. How did East Coast Elite start?
So it's actually a pretty funny story because East Coast Elite started as a joke. Had two friends, Steven and Jose, who, they had their own banter on the mats, off the mats, where they just kept, messing with each other. And we thought, let's set up a super fight then. So we always thought, let's make an event out of it and everything like that. But, as a joke. So I started this Instagram account playing around and just doing like these, not the best posters or anything like that until Diego from Rollstar, he saw something in it. He liked the way I was promoting it. He liked the interviews that I was doing. So he put out his poster and made it look a lot more official, doing the interviews and such. And it started picking up steam. So people were thinking, oh man, like this is a serious thing. So people started to actually apply to be on it, but I wasn't ready for it. I was just like, okay, look, listen, I was like, this is just between some friends. But then when I saw the DMs and everything, I was like, this is actually something that could actually happen. But we did have another match under them, the co-main event. And, we gave them a cash prize. And that's the thing, right, with a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. I mean, it's getting better nowadays. They don't offer, any money for competing in them, like IBJJF, the Nagas, Grappling Industries. They're phenomenal events. However, you're paying over $100 and get nothing out of it besides a medal if you place.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to bring in a little bit of cash. It's not like a lot. It was $100 to the winner, and then $50 for the co-main event winner. But something, it's something. Something's better than nothing, right? But when it started to actually get steam, Steven, he actually pulled out because he wanted to train a lot harder than he already was, because it was a no-gi and he's primarily a gi guy. He wanted to work his no-gi game more. So instead of postponing the event or anything, I just replaced him and we kept it going. And from there on, that's how it was born. And when we threw our second event, this is the event that Valencia was on,
right?
ECE 2. That one we had a bracket style, which I prefer more.
Okay.
Round robin kind of style. And we had a belt for it. So same thing, there was a cash prize. You got a belt out of it. Rolosophy, who was generous enough to sponsor both the first, second, and third event, they handed out some free gear also. So it just started kind of picking up, and people were asking, when's the next event? Like, we were looking to do ECE, and unfortunately, the pandemic hit, but people started asking it. I felt like it was time to start it back. So it's really exciting. It's already almost a week away. A week tomorrow. So it's going to be a good event. We have some great matches lined up. This time it is super fights. We originally had 8. Unfortunately, someone had to pull out, so we're at 7 right now, looking for an 8th match, if possible. So please feel free to DM me if you're down to scrap in a week. Gi, no gi, send me your information, and we'll try to set you up with a match. and a cash prize for the winners of each of their respective super fights. So
I love that. Yeah, still looking for competitors, and just talk a little bit about the first two. So, ECE one. How many fights did you have in that card? And I know you started with just your friends, basically, but how many fights did it end up going off with?
So it only went off with two because, like
Okay.
I said, it was for fun, and it's funny how these things kind of work, right? When you do things for fun, it's the stuff that usually picks off than when you're doing it for promotion or money or whatever it is. It really picked off, and I just wasn't ready for it. I mean, I was like, I can't set up an event like this in this short term of notice. I had just set up the Instagram maybe 2 weeks prior to the event, and I was just kind of getting flooded with messages. And I was like, hey, look, listen. I was like, if we ever do another one of these, I was like, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. I mean, it kept coming in, so we just kept setting up matches.
No, I love it. We're gonna preview every time you have an event. We're gonna preview it here.
I
So
love
you
it.
got a home to preview the next events coming forward. As we talked off air, I'm gonna try to help Christian get a website together just so he can promote it. Give everybody a place to reach out to him. So I think this is great. So tell us, the first event had 2 fights. The second event had how many fights?
So the amount of fights I couldn't tell you, but it was a round robin. So it
Round
was
robin.
a good amount of fights. We were aiming to have 8 competitors on it.
Okay.
So kind of like a man, what's the event that they used to hold in New York from Flow? Where essentially it was 2 groups of 4, and it was round robin, and it was a point system. So if you got a submission, you got 3 points. If you won by points, you got 2
Right.
points.
Right.
So then the top 2 guys with the most points of each group, they face off each other in the finals. Again, the challenging thing with these events is dealing with last minute pullouts.
Right.
Because the people want to jump on, but for this particular event, we were looking for 170 and under. And ECE3 originally was supposed to be the 170 and over. I started with the 170 and under just because you see a lot more of smaller guys in jiu-jitsu. I think like lightweight and under, you see those brackets are always a lot bigger than the super heavies and the ultra heavies and such. So it was just easier to put people on. I also wanted to do a female event also, but like I said, pandemic pushed us back. We did have a lot of interest in it. A lot of people were looking to compete.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the ECE2 round robin style, it was great because although it was 8, we ended up with 5. But I'd rather have 5 warriors than 8 guys who aren't looking for the finish. 8 guys who are just trying to squeeze out wins. I had 5 warriors that day. And they brought it, man. They brought it. Those events were amazing. You could check out those pictures. I mean, you see some big slams, some great matches. It was a phenomenal event. So I was really excited to do a third one.
No, I love it. And I love the way you're talking about it too. It's kind of like when Dana White talks about contender series, right? Like he wants the finishes. And everybody knows if you want that contract, you got to get that finish. And you give out a bonus too, right? I saw on the thing, a bonus for a finish and fight, like a fight of the night.
Yeah. So quickest finish. So fastest finish, they get a little cash prize too. And also for the best match of the day. So match of the night, fight of the night, however you want to call it. We're also giving them a bonus as well. And I haven't announced it yet on the Instagram, so this will be the first time I'll be announcing it. But Rolosophy, again, they are sponsoring the event, so they're doing a care package for the winners as well. So I'm not gonna spoil what's gonna be in them, but trust me, you're gonna want to win. If you're on this event, you're gonna want to win. So I think when you're promoting winners, when you're rewarding finishes and everything like that, people are gonna go for them. Again, IBJJF and stuff like that, phenomenal events. I watch them, I love them, I compete in them. But if they can win by an advantage by holding you in 50-50 for 7 minutes, they'll do it. There's no reward for going for that finish.
Right.
Maybe you get a clip on Flow Grappling or IBJJF's Instagram, maybe, if you're one of the 10 matches that they're recording. But this one, you're getting a reward directly. So,
No, I
it's,
like that. I like that. And I like, just so everybody knows too, we're going live right now. Christian, if there's anything in terms of your sponsor or anything else that you want to send me, I'll put it in the show notes. So if anybody wants to check this out after the fact on YouTube, I'll send you the video. I'll have the video. I'll be blasting clips from the video. So we'll definitely promote any of your sponsors or anything that's going on. And I might as well promote it's a great time before I ask you about yourself again to promote our sponsor. Sign up for BetMGM with our affiliate link. It'll be in the show notes. You can come to our webpage. It's basically where I do all my betting. I know there's not going to be any betting for this event unless you're in the stands and people are throwing around some bets and lines there. But Christian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into BJJ? And I know you just said before we went live that you compete. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a purple belt under Murillo Santana. I train out of Unity. Currently, primarily training out of Bones BJJ, where the event is being held, under Devontae Johnson, and I also help teach over there too. I was teaching while he was quarantining the last 2 weeks, and yeah, I mean the way that I kind of started was I was a wrestler in high school, and I will admittedly say that I was not the best wrestler out there. I was a great counter wrestler. Now, if you ask people, they'll tell you, "Oh, that's the Splato King. He's good and everything." But I knew in my head that I was not as good as people were making it out to seem. I had the Splato,
Right.
which was a really fun technique to hit off because it's very flashy and showy, and it's kind of one of the embarrassing techniques to hit in wrestling. And after high school, I didn't do anything, in the collegiate level. I was going to FDU. They didn't have a wrestling team. I did play rugby over there. And I did have a friend who trained jiu-jitsu. And I was always interested in it, but I never, took that step until I saw an email from a local jiu-jitsu school in my town, less than a half a mile away, promoting that they were giving away a free month for jiu-jitsu. So I was like, man, like this is the time to do it. So I went in there. I was very confused. I did all right, but I knew that it wasn't the school for me. The guys were nice and everything like that, but I was holding my own against purple belts. So I never really felt a real purple belt until outside of that place. But I was like, man, I just, I tapped out a purple belt. Like, that's pretty cool,
Right.
But I mean, what I did was I like scissored his head. I didn't have an arm in or anything like that. The guy tapped to just annoyance, probably.
Right.
There was only really one guy that would put it on me, an older dude, and he was like, man, like you stick to this jiu-jitsu stuff, man, you're gonna be really good. And they would just have me and him go at it. They were trying to beat it onto me because I was kind of doing really good against their good guys, but that he wasn't as consistent.
Well, you were the new guy too, right? They gave you.
There's mat enforcers, right? Any gym you go to, there's a mat enforcer where it's like, hey, like you might be good, but this is my home. Mm-hmm. So the guy put it on me. He was a great dude, though. Taught me a lot. Really good wrestler, also. But like I said, because if that guy was a little bit more consistent, maybe I would have joined that place. But I just knew that it wasn't the right spot. But I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. I was like, wow, this is fun stuff. By the end of that year, Renzo Gracie in Fort Lee, they opened up. And that's when I really got started into jiu-jitsu. It was a Christmas gift, my first gi, and 3 months. A 3-month pass to that Renzo Gracie, and I didn't stop since then.
And how old are you at that time?
19, 20, one of those. I've been training for 7 years now, so 27 now, so 19 or 20.
No, that's awesome. And again, I think because of the popularity of the sport at this point, there's kids getting into it so much younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're just going to see. Yeah. And again, like anything else, like any other sport, people evolve with the sport and it gets better and they're learning things, sooner, and the dexterity and the flexibility that they have, like, it's just going to take off. So we definitely have a couple of fans of ECE chiming in here. So that's good. So Christian, before we get out of here, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of these fights? You want me to introduce them to you, who they are, and then you tell me, why you match them up this way? Do it that way. Let's start with Drew, just because Drew's my boy. So Andrew Valencia.
You're starting with one of the best, right off the bat. I mean, this match here is gonna be amazing. I mean, so little short history, right? Andrew, he did actually do ECE too. Okay. I think I did mention that.
Yeah.
He put on a show, man. This is the first time that I had met Andrew, was at ECE too. So from Renzo Gracie Fort Lee, I moved over to Unity. And Andrew, he trains out of Renzo Gracie, Fort Lee, Woodland Park. They're kind of like a mixed mash. So I never actually had the opportunity to train with him. But this is the time that I met him. And I mean, you can count on Andrew to put on a show, man. Like he is a showman. He's a yes man. Gi, no gi, weight, doesn't matter. He's gonna bring it. Tommy, this is a new and up and comer too. Somebody who's also recently new to Unity. And he showed that he has a strong no-gi game, and that's what's kind of interesting about this match. Both of these guys, they felt each other out in no-gi, but this is a gi match. Right. So things change up, the grips, the game, the guard, the leg entanglements, everything changes up when you're going from no-gi to gi. So this is, although they felt each other out, this is a whole other match. They've never felt each other out in the gi. So, I mean, you can expect that they're going to go after each other. Both of them have strong gi games. Both of them have strong no-gi games. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to kind of go with this. Are they going to kind of try to exploit maybe their no-gi weaknesses if they're in their gi game? But I guarantee it's going to be fireworks, man. That this is going to be a match that is going to bring it for sure. Both of these guys, seasoned competitors, ready to scrap, man.
And again, I apologize for starting with what you consider to be one of the better matches. I'm going off the Instagram page because we don't.
Great. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, we gotta get that sheet, right? We gotta have a sheet so I know where to start. Well, I'm just gonna go in order from what you have on Instagram. And again, all these fights, if you want to get to know these competitors, they're all on Instagram. You can tap on their the Instagram pic. Their individual pages are up there. You can find out what gyms they train at, what they do. Dimitri, I'm going to probably say his last name wrong. Zunkin and Drew Marsh.
Yep. So this is a no-gi match. Now, Dimitri, he wanted to get on this card. He's been wanting to get on for a long time. Another person who seasoned competitor. Now, mostly a no-gi guy as well. I would say I've seen him train more no-gi than I do gi. And Drew is another one who has probably been the most excited for this event out of everybody. I mean, he's always constantly tagging us. He's always messaging me and everything, asking questions and such. He's ready to go. Both of these guys, in a no-gi match, Dimitri, he's giving up a few pounds here. But he's ready to go, man. And Drew, he seems to be a showman too. He's got a lot of support behind him. A lot of his guys are messaging me too. Drew's got an army behind him. If there's one thing you could say about him, he's got an army behind him.
Now, when you say messaging you because they want on a card, they want to fight, or
they're just responding to the stories that I post about them and everything like that. They're asking, hey, how can I watch this? I want to support my man Drew. Okay. When you're bringing that many people into it, man, it's a different kind of emotion. I think he's been mentally ready for this for a long time. Not to say that Dimitri isn't, right? But this one it's another one. They're gonna want to put on a show. Drew's got a lot of people watching, so he's gonna. I guarantee you, he's gonna be looking for the finish. And same thing with Dimitri, man. Dimitri's a very analytical person. He's a student of the game. And he has a lot of experience training no-gi and Unity. He's trained with Gary Tonin. So maybe we'll see leg locks. Maybe we'll see a top pressure game. Who knows? I mean, both of their games, I'm sure, have evolved since accepting this match. So another one, it's going to be a show for sure.
And Christian, I think it's important too. Tickets are limited, right?
So yeah, I should mention that tickets are limited, right? We're trying to abide to the COVID laws here. So if you are interested in coming in live, please message me because they're running out already.
Yeah.
And I mean I'm kind of going first come first. Whoever pays first, you're locking in your spot. I'm putting you
Okay.
down. Just because I don't want anybody to say, hey, save me a spot and not show up because of something. It is a $10 spectator fee. We want to give something back to Bones BJJ for being kind enough to home the event.
Right.
That money is going to go to them. And yeah, so please
Okay.
message me if you're looking to come in live.
Yeah, and Christian, again, I want to be there. We may be going to see family next weekend, so I'm gonna let you know if I'm there or not. But if I'm in Jersey, in North Jersey, I will be at the event. Next fight: Brandon Ordonez and Dan Weitzman.
Danny and Brandon. So I've had the pleasure of training with both of these guys, Danny being a teammate of mine and Brandon being at another academy that I used to come in and share with the mats with. Danny is another scrapper, man. I'm excited for this one. I see Danny mostly in the gi, but this is another no gi match, and he's somebody who's evolved his game. He started training with Unity, within the last 2-3 years or so, and his game has exceptionally evolved. I mean, it's blown past what he once was. I mean, and he was another person that was in ECE too. Put on a show, man. He put on a show. He went after every single guy he was going up against. Every single guy. It was no easy matches. This guy brought it in. Great wrestling, strong fundamentals. So you can expect a really strong, tight game from this guy. But when it has to, get scrappy, he's there too. Brandon is another person who comes out of Roll Star BJJ. Now this is a really strong academy too. Very, very highly focused on the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu. So, you might not see, let's just say, the bolos or anything out of them, but their academy is very strong when it comes to their top game, to their bottom game, to their takedowns. They focus on every single aspect of the game of getting it to the ground on just not even just on a not just on a competition level, but even in the self-defense aspect of it too. So you can imagine that Brandon is not going to ever really put himself in much dangerous positions. He's another person who's been made leaps and bounds from when I first trained with him. So it's going to be really exciting to see these guys, to see where they first started to where they're at now, and then going head to head against each other. So it's going to be another really great show.
Yeah, you're getting getting me excited to see if I get there to see these guys roll, man. I want to do all these guys justice. We got like four more. Joe Miola and Michael Rodriguez.
All right, man. This is going to be a really, really good one too. I'm really excited about this one. Mike, seasoned wrestler, came into jiu-jitsu, with that strong wrestler mentality. There's anything that you can take away from wrestlers, man, it's their mental toughness. Mike doesn't slow down. He brings the heat whenever he's rolling, whenever he's competing. And he, like I said, started off as a wrestler, and he had to make certain jiu-jitsu adjustments, and
Right.
he made them. He's going out to competitions and he's kicking ass, man. He's doing phenomenal. A very strong top game, somebody who has been working their guard, and you could see it. He's been really, really focusing in during the pandemic, never really took any time off. He went straight into it. So I'm really excited about this. Now, Joey, he is a student of the game. They say that you're supposed to try to be better than who you were yesterday. Joey's trying to be who he was 10 minutes ago.
Right.
This guy is an absolute student. Every single training session I've ever had with him, he asks the right questions. He knows what he needs to do to evolve his game, and it's been showing. I mean, when I first trained with him too, he trains out of Up Top. I've had the opportunity to go to their academy on Sundays where they hold their open mats, and always evolving. His guard has become phenomenal. His top game has become phenomenal. I mean, you look at the guy; He's jacked. So you can only imagine how strong the man is. So this is going to be a really, really good match too, man. I mean, these are both guys who are students, right, of jiu-jitsu and are always looking to evolve and have proven that they've evolved. So this match is going to be, it's going to bring some fireworks, man. It's going to be a fire match.
Well, we also have some club, a variety of clubs too, which is nice that I see here. I had a fire truck behind me, so it's going away. So I had to mute myself for a sec. But you're good. Christopher Rosario and Christian Mejias. We got 3 fights left. What do you think here?
So these two guys, one thing I'd like to say about my events also is, I try to promote everyone, whether you're white to black, whoever wants to get on my card, I am openly willing to accept it. So this is going to be a white belt matchup. Some guys who may not have been on the scene for too long and might not have had a lot of competition experience, but this is their time to showcase where they come from and everything. I'm sorry, Christopher's his academy, it just slipped my mind. It's the one from Richfield. You probably know it. Richfield, New Jersey, or Ridgewood. I can't remember. But
I'm trying to look it up real quick on his page. I don't see any references to the academy though.
Yeah, it's slipping my mind here. But
is it Roll Star?
No, it's not Roll Star.
Okay.
Roll Star is actually where Christian's from, though. Christian Mejias.
Okay.
So same thing as that I talked about with Brandon. Strong fundamental game, man. I guarantee you that Diego didn't do these guys any disjustice. They know where they're supposed to be positionally. Position over submissions with these guys. So despite them both being white belts, they were both recommendations from 2 guys that I trust. So I'm sure that these guys are going to bring heat, and they're going to show their technicality with it too. It's not going to be one of those typical white belt matches that you see that they just grip each other for 15 minutes, scared to do anything. I think these guys are ready to come and ready to bring it.
Well, and again, listening to Drew talk, because he's one of the regulars on the show. We do the podcast together, and listening to you talk. I mean, you got to be a student of the game in BJJ, right? If you're not evolving, someone gets some tape on you and sees what you did the last match, like they're ready for it. There's a game plan that they're prepared to defend against that. Next matchup here, we got 2 more: Stelios Dantas and Zayad Zeldin. I'm sure I'm screwing up these names. Go ahead.
I just want to say that it's Rising Sun. That was
okay.
That's the academy that I was thinking about for Christopher. He's fighting out of Rising Sun. Now Stelios and Zayad. So both blue belts, both in the master division. Like I said, I like diversity when it comes to my cards here. So we're having a master matchup too. Both guys, again, that I've had the opportunity to train with. Now this is a sleeper one, man. I mean, I think a lot of people are excited for a lot of these other matches, but this is one that's going to be a surprising factor. I think a lot of people should get excited for this one too. Zayad, he's someone who also trains out of Unity. Very, very strong top game. Frames are phenomenal. He's very great guard retention.
Okay.
And he's been working his takedowns too, man. So it's going to be really exciting to see, again, his leaps and bounds and how he performs out there in competition. The guy is working hard, man, and he's working with some killers in the room too. So and keeping up and holding his own, against guys who are younger than him, and beating them in the mats. This has got somebody that just because they have that master title doesn't mean that they cannot scrap and that they cannot keep up with the younger guys. This is going to be a phenomenal match. Now Stelios, he's someone who also trains out of the RGA Fort Lee Woodland Park Association. Somebody who I actually originally started training with as well, and another person who's really evolved. I think when he first kind of started jiu-jitsu, he was a little bit more tame and everything. And when I recently saw him compete in TNEC 2 years ago, before the pandemic, I mean, he showed a whole other different Stelios. I mean, this guy came out, and I will say he probably has the most competition experience than than most people on this card, I would say. He's up there. He competes a lot. He competes frequently. He's always on the podium. And then I think a thing that kind of differentiates him too is that he's also a judoka. So you can expect some big throws too here. I mean, it's gonna be a really interesting matchup. I mean, this is in the gi, so he has his judo grips. And like I said, he's been working hard and he competes both in jiu-jitsu, both in judo. Z, he does compete in jiu-jitsu, but not as often. So it's going to be interesting how these guys match up. Z is giving up a few pounds here, but he was down. He gave him an opponent. He said yes right away. So it's gonna be a fun match to watch for sure.
I love that, man. One more time before the last fight introduction here. Sign up for BetMGM with our affiliate link. It'll be in the show notes. I'll populate the YouTube show notes after we're done with this show. And then again, anything that Christian will send me an email. He'll put his sponsors in there, and I'll add it to the show notes also. So Christian, last fight here, Anthony Williams and I'm sorry, I'm gonna screw this one up. Loganenko.
Well, now this is another match that it's kind of a very interesting because Anthony, a seasoned blue belt, somebody who can arguably be a purple, but phenomenal wrestling. Ade is an NCAA wrestler, so
okay.
This is somebody who doesn't have the most jiu-jitsu experience, but has years and years and years of grappling experience. So he's somebody who has recently trained with Renzo. So we're not too sure what we're going to see out of him when it comes to the guard game. But you can expect that both of these guys are not going to back down. It's going to be two immovable objects clashing against each other, trying to, get under each other and take each other down whatever way. So spectators, you're going to have to make some space for these guys because they're going to need it. So, expect some really, really nice highlights out of this because they're both guys who are ready to compete. They're both guys who fall into that, I guess, that wrestling trap, right? Where,
right.
You think maybe it's the time to kind of pull guard and conserve energy. No, I'm telling you now, I don't think any of these guys are going to pull guard, and they're going to want to take each other down. If one person takes, if Anthony takes down a day, he's going to get up and he's going to want to take Anthony back down. So it's going to be a really, really good match. Like I said, you're going to need to make some space for them. I think my job there is just to make sure they don't go through any windows because this is going to be one where they're going to be moving a lot. But a great matchup. And hey, Anthony he called something on his Instagram, right? He asked his fans, his followers, if they want to see a leg lock. So, he might be calling his shot here now, doing a Gordon Ryan kind of, prediction here. So it would be interesting to see if he pulls it off. Both guys working a lot of their no-gi stuff. So I'm sure that Ade is not, unfamiliar with the leg lock game. So it's going to be interesting. Big takedowns, leg locks. So let's see it.
Christian, you're a natural at this, at being a promoter, bro. This is right in your wheelhouse right now. Now, these guys are lucky because, again, a lot of times I'm sure they go to events. I've gone to 2 or 3 of Drew's events, and there was no promotion. Like, there was nothing going on before. So this is a great opportunity for them. Get some promotion, get a nice fight, and, again, for you to promote them and, try to get everybody excited for the event. So, again, let's give everybody the details just so that they know. This is East Coast Elite 3. All right, Christian Garcia is putting it all together, so you can hit him up at East Coast Elites _. That's all on Instagram, so make sure you DM him on Instagram. It will be live on Instagram. He'll be streaming it live on Instagram. Tickets are limited. DM him on Instagram if you do want tickets. Christian, did I forget anything else?
So, no, I mean, April 10th, 12 p.m. at Bones BJJ. Like I said, I hope to see people there and show up. And I appreciate, having me on, Steven. This was a great opportunity to showcase some of the guys here and showcase the event. And, I'm telling you guys, the show is going to deliver. So you're not going to want to miss these matches. So whether you're seeing it on Instagram or whether you're seeing it live, you will not be disappointed. These guys are bringing it. I promise you that.
So we got to finish off with 2 things. Number one, If you're interested in fighting, definitely let Christian know. Hit him up in DM so he can run more events. And if anybody else is interested in promoting their event, by all means, let me know. If you're in Jersey, we're going to cater to the Jersey fan. And I'm glad that Christian came on here. So Christian, I'll put up your poster to end off, and I want to once and for all just thank you for coming on, buddy.
No, thank you for having me, man. Thank you. This is great. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.